What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to discuss Scream 7 yet again and the fans' increasing worry. So there is a lot of worry online. I see it on Twitter, I see it on YouTube, and I want to talk about it. We talked about it a few weeks back in terms of, look, let's not hit the panic button just yet. I think people are hitting the panic button. I understand it. I definitely get why. You're hearing all the things with radio silence. Now Melissa Barrera, which I did want to talk about this story, right? So she's going to be in their next movie, the one that is filming in May, right? So she's busy, they're busy, and now a lot of people have absolutely freaked out. I really want to hold firm on the rumor, and it is just a rumor for sure, so I gotta throw that out there, right? But the rumor that Scream 7 would want to start filming by October, right? Now, we heard that from Viewer Anon. I really don't see any reason to not trust Viewer Anon, right? Like, look, going into Scream 5, I had no idea who a lot of Scream creators were, a lot of just people in the community were, and also Viewer Anon. Never heard of the guy, didn't care, still in a sense, don't really care about the person at all. I'm interested into the rumors and, what he's got to say. But as Scream 5 and Scream 6 have gone, well, obviously he's been right so many times. There's literally no reason to not trust the guy. And so I'm putting my trust, I suppose, in him. If he steers me wrong, he steers me wrong, and I guess I won't believe him going forward. But, I guess clips comprehend we had that kind of era as well. Another thing is, like, I don't know, just for me, and again, I'm not into too many other movies, the Hollywood industry. I truly don't even care about the Hollywood industry in that sense. But I think it's okay for people to be, like, doing things, for people to be busy. Just because Radio Silence is filming from May to July, I think, right, is kind of the region. Melissa is going to be there, right, and she's going to be a main star in that movie from May to July. Like, well, actors, I assume they want to work, right? I watched one interview with Melissa where she talked about in between 5 coming out and then 6 being filmed in the summer, she didn't work. So she wasn't doing anything. Now, some of the others were, right? You have, like, even a Jenna Ortega. Wasn't she filming Wednesday during the press of Scream 5? So, like, it's okay for actors to be, like, doing things. Obviously, I guess there's the idea that because they're filming, like, does everything kind of get pushed back? There's obviously the increasing worry that with the interviews, I guess, that have come out, do they kind of move on from Radio Silence? And I have said, right, the last time we talked about it, I'm going to hold firm. I think Paramount, right, like some of the higher ups, I think you would wait on Radio Silence to a degree. You would wait on them up to a point, and then you would say, okay, we're going to find somebody else. That's truly, what I believe. Now, the Melissa thing, again, like, I think that's just an actor working. That's just an actor working for 2.5 months. And then if the film films in October, well, she has from July till October to get ready. There's really no reason why they can't make that happen. And who knows how many Scream 7 conversations may be brought up on that, the film that they're doing. How many times maybe would they kind of just go back and forth just chit-chatting right about it? So I don't think specifically with her it's that big of a deal. You could argue Radio Silence with all these deals are kind of inking and all this stuff, but the Escape from New York thing seems like it's kind of in like a purgatory. Even when they were asked about it in the interviews with Scream 6, they're like, well, we're going to meet with Kurt Russell soon, like over the next couple of weeks, but it didn't really sound like anything had been done, and that thing was announced a long time ago. Even this, like, well, this was announced because it was under kind of the wrong, or nobody really knew what this movie was going to be. Wasn't this announced back in like 2021? So these things took time to happen, and again, I just think the general idea is they'll wait for Radio Silence to a degree. Now, if Radio Silence intends to take, like, say, a year and a half off, and I said this last time, if Radio Silence goes to them and say, hey, we're so tired, we're so busy, we also have been living Scream for so long, can you give us till like the summer of 24 to start filming it, even to start filming, and then you'll come out maybe summer or fall of 2025. I think that would probably be met with a no, right? Considering you have Guy and Jamie, and that's the thing I want to keep hammering down. Like, they are separated in the sense that we have heard over and over and over again, they are writing the Scream 7 script, right? Even like Matt and Tyler fully kind of expect that script is being written literally right now, technically like a month ago, right? And doesn't seem like it takes them all that long to get these things going, and we don't really know when the script writing started. So the movie's going to be written. And I think it probably is at the tail end of being written, or it's already done. So then the question is, what are you going to do? Now, I talked about Scream 3, obviously, right? From Scream 2 to Scream 3, they took some time off, and I think time off does help. Absolutely. It lets you kind of like look at the genre, the meta-ness, and kind of like isolating or identifying what makes certain things tick in the horror genre. It's important to Scream, and Scream will always be alive because things are always somewhat changing in the genre. So Scream can always kind of be a play on that. So you do need breaks in between eventually, because if you don't do that, eventually it won't work, okay? But I don't think we're there yet. I think we're there after 7. I think from 7 to, if they do a new trilogy, I think that's where you would have some sort of 2, 3, 4 year break, whatever, maybe even longer, right? You'd have some sort of break there. But from 6 to 7, I think you probably go like the Halloween route. And honestly, because of the stuff around the world, because of putting Halloween on streaming, which I've always thought those are terrible ideas because they just kill the box office. Scream has been more successful in the box office really recently than Halloween. But the point is, not even comparing them, I truly don't even care. But you don't let this kind of hype and excitement die. And people move on fast. Now, obviously, the Scream fandom, the diehards, will always be, we'll always be here. And we're honest. I don't want to like stroke our own ego or pat ourselves on the back. I mean, we are the ones that like carry this thing when there's nothing else out there. I mean, every fandom kind of has this group of people, but we are this group of people for Scream. We just factually are. So we'll always be here, but the general group moves on, and that's okay. But there's never a full guarantee that you're getting those people back. And also, why slow down or stop something that is not broken, right? These movies are doing better. They're getting, 6 did better than 5. Now, again, there's no guarantee 7 does better than 6, but I think you go for it. I think if you give it 2-3 years, that's probably not a wise idea. Now, I guess, maybe that's even looking at it too much. I think from what I've seen of fans panicking, there's a couple of different layers. Number one, it's that Scream 7 wouldn't come out till like 2025, okay? I think that's possible, but as long as we have now seen this multiple times. From when they start filming, okay? Like they started filming Scream 6 in June. From when they start filming, they don't even need a year. They don't even need 1 year. So if the film starts in November even, it starts filming, then already, I would say the latest that comes out next year is that November-December period, which is still in 2024. So I think it's been proven that they can do that. Even Scream 5, yes, there were like the delays and all this movement, but they were done with that movie very early, right? I mean, we all kind of knew that from social media. They were done with that movie months and months in advance. They just held it. They just held on to it, and then the movie came out. So they don't need that much time. So the 2025 thing, I mean, even if it happens, I don't even think it would be late 2025. I can wait. It's not, 2 years. It'd be 2 years. That's not too bad. The other side of panicking is, the radio silence thing. The Melissa thing, I don't know. I've seen people, I guess, panic where it's like, well, now do you do like a spin-off Scream movie? But like again, like Melissa, Jenna is doing like 8 different things. I mean, she's booked on all these movies, all these TV shows. What have we always said with Jenna Ortega? It's just fit her in the schedule. You know what I mean? She's so busy, you just got to try to find a spot where she's free. Melissa does like and it's not to like put her down, but I mean, let's be real. Like Jenna Ortega is massively popular and she's wanted. Like there's a lot of opportunity for her to do things in the industry. Melissa doesn't even do too much, right? So she does one thing from, and again, it's saying it as an insult, but as you guys know, I loved her in Scream 6. I thought she was the best character. She's doing something from May to July. Okay, so she works on 2 jobs in the entirety of this year, right? I think maybe she recorded something around right before Scream 6 came out. So she works on 3 jobs a year. Like, that's definitely doable. People do that. So that's not a big deal. The radio silence thing obviously continues to be an issue, but at the same time, again, I think there is a waiting period, like a grace period with them. And, if they don't want that, if they want it even longer, then yeah, I could see them moving on from radio silence. But I don't know. I also just think it would really, and this is probably the final thing I want to say, I think this would really upset like everybody. I think Matt and Tyler, for whether people love them or hate them, and I think Matt and Tyler have done a great job. The cast, I think, truly loves those two. And, if you want like Nev back, like Nev, I think is impressed by those two. So, and it doesn't even have to be Nev. It could be any of these people. I think replacing these directors, they did it twice and the third one is somebody different. Like, yeah, sometimes trilogies have, one director for each. I actually think that's a really bad idea. Star Wars proved that to me. But also, it feels like a family. And I think that kind of has hurt them a little bit in terms of like not wanting to kill off certain characters, kind of being too clingy to their friends, the people that they kind of hang out with. I think that has been somewhat of a problem. But also on the flip side of that, they are like a legitimate, this family like relationship. If you replace Matt and Tyler, these people could already have contracts. Melissa could be contracted. Jenna could be contracted to go back for Scream 7. But how happy will they be about it? Would Nev come back for Scream 7? Would Courtney Cox come back? Would Hayden come back? Like, do these people, do they love Scream? Do they love Radio Silence? Do they love the brand? What do they love? That would be something that I don't want to discuss, because that would start to have problems. That's the biggest thing to me. Yes, there'd be like a direction change, how it's shot, how it kind of feels, even with the same writers, it would still be different. Like, absolutely it would be different. But on top of that, like, you got to think about the characters and the cast and how do they feel if something like that happened. I think as executives, you probably think that through. I probably think, okay, do you want this whole thing to just be burned up in a fiery explosion? Or can we wait just like a few months later than we wanted? If they wanted to film in September, can they wait till December? Is that going to kill them? No. So do you make that decision? I think you probably do. Now, if you have to say, well, we can't film for another year and a half, then you say, okay, well, people may not like this, the cast may not like this, but we love money, and Scream makes us money, and it's easy, fast money, and we're not going to wait like 2 years for the next Scream. We want it now. They could go down that path as well, but I still don't think we're going to go there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.